Last week, we broke the story of the dire state of emergency services in New South Wales, where firefighters have been left with outdated, broken and in some cases missing equipment. 150 fire trucks past their use-by date. This week, we report that this is not just a New South Wales issue, but it's happening in Victoria too. A budget bid made by Fire and Rescue Victoria stated that they did not have the fleet it needs to sufficiently protect personnel and communities. Over 15 fire trucks in commission having exceeded their lifespan. It also advised urgent funding is needed to ensure that fire and rescue can respond in an emergency. The Andrews government hasn't listened. Joining me now to discuss is Peter Marshall, Secretary of the Victorian branch of the United Firefighters Union. Thanks for your time, Peter. What are the issues? What are the main issues here, and why is it so problematic to have fire trucks that are beyond their lifespan? Why is this a safety issue?
Well, essentially, it's not only a safety issue to firefighters, but indeed to the community. First of all, you have a critical response time of approximately 8 minutes to be able to maximise the potential for saving life. But so that means if the vehicle breaks down on the way, a life can be lost or lives can be lost. On top of that, firefighters depend on two things when they enter into fires. Their lifeline is breathing apparatus and also water. If the pumping capacity of the vehicle fails because that truck is antiquated and out of date and breaks down, that means the firefighter who's been deployed into a building for a rescue or suppression does not have that lifeline, being the water supply. That is a critical issue that this government's been made aware of. And can I say that firefighters, as we speak, in Melbourne, Victoria, there is the ultra-large pumper that looks after high-rise buildings that was built in 1995. Long overdue.
Well, look, that was an issue that we have currently in New South Wales. Aerial trucks have been, which as you say, fight apartment fires, high-density areas. Some parts of Sydney haven't had an aerial truck in 2 years. And the Fireys Union tell me that if that large CBD fire that we saw in Sydney on Thursday was in one of the areas that didn't have an aerial truck, it would be a very different story. How worried are you for Victoria? And which parts are you worried about?
Well, we're worried for Victorians, but we're also very worried for the safety of our members, and we support our colleagues in New South Wales. Essentially, governments need to invest in the emergency services. For example, as I already pointed out just recently, one of the critical pieces of appliance that looks after Melbourne Metropolitan, I'm talking the city, was built in 1995. Now, that is an ultra-large pump. It is the only mechanism to ensuring that there is water supply in the event of a high-rise fire. That truck is well and truly out of date.
And it would take a long time to get to. It would take a long time to get to a fire as well, you'd presume. It wouldn't be able if there's only one of them.
Well, that's if it gets to the fire, and I suppose that goes to the very heart of the issue of antiquated equipment. On top of that, its capacity was built. What was known in 1995, not 2023. It's got approximately 2 minutes water supply.
All right, Peter Marshall, thank you very much.